Hello everyone, we need to talk about instrument disclaimer forms. I've got two forms here, one is new, one is old. This is the old form. If you have seen this form, throw it away. It's done, this is old, they have totally replaced it, it's gone. Goodbye. This is the new form, let's zoom in on it. Everybody needs to complete this. It is the musical instrument disclaimer form and loan agreement. It applies to 3 different areas for all of the things that happen in band. The instrument storage areas, school-owned instruments, and instrument repair. Even if you are not loaning a school instrument, this form needs to be complete. This is for every person in the band program. At the top, please fill out your name, all of the information, all of your parent information, the address, all of that stuff. Initial in each area. I'm going to read each of these off verbatim from the form. Instrument storage areas. Individual schools may provide storage areas where instruments may be kept overnight if necessary. These storage areas are not individual lockers, but shelving areas. Since students have access to these areas before and after class, the CMS Board of Education assumes no responsibility for any loss or damage to any instrument stored at these locations. This is talking about everywhere in the band room, everywhere in the auditorium, everywhere that we bring and store and keep instruments. Even if you don't use a locker, this needs to be filled out. Second section, school-owned instruments and instrument changes. Students will be using school-owned instruments such as tuba, bari sax, tenor sax, oboe, bass, clarinet, French horn, cello, or string bass will need to see the instrumental music teacher about filling out a CMS liability form before an instrument can be used by the student. All changes of instrumentation are strictly up to the music director. This is our liability form. If you need to use an instrument that is school-owned, please come talk with me. We are doing this process in class. Michael will help you get an actual instrument designated for you. Even if you are not using a school instrument right now, please make sure that you initial off on this, because if you encounter an issue like you need to send your instrument off to repair, we can help you out and have an instrument for you in class. So please make sure everybody signatures this second section. Percussion. This also includes all percussion instruments that we use in class. You are using school-owned instruments, so please complete that section. The third section, instrument repair. If a student's instrument, student-owned, needs repair, it should be taken to an instrument repair shop in a timely manner. Please provide a written note with the name of the repair shop, the date the instrument was taken in, and when it can be expected to return so that your child's grade will not be affected. A school-owned instrument must be brought to the music teacher for any repairs. If you have any issues with maintenance, please, first, I hope you have taken care of that in advance. If you have to take care of it during the school year, I need to know about it. If it's a school-owned instrument, bring it to me. I will send it out to the shop, and we will get a loaner out to you promptly. If you have your own instrument and you need to send it to the repair shop for any reason, let me know so that we're not just waiting around figuring out where's your instrument. Please bring the information that they've listed. We can give you a loaner if you did not loan out from the repair shop or from the music store or wherever you were taking your instrument to. We have loaners available for the most part. I'll have a better idea on how many instruments we're loaning out after we've gone through this initial process and can give you more guidance later. Next section is your parent and student signature, signifying that you agree to the 3 signatures above. Then it says Circle 1, school-issued instrument, personal instrument. Each instrument that you use needs one of these forms completed. If you are using a personal instrument and an instrument in class, you need 2 forms. If you're using 3 instruments because you are in 3 ensembles, then you need 3 forms. If you're using the same instrument in multiple ensembles, like if you're playing your trumpet in symphonic band and in marching band, you only need 1 instrument disclaimer because you're using the same instrument for both ensembles. So each separate instrument needs its own separate agreement. If you are needing a loaner, please circle the school-issued instrument and then write in the instrument type. Michael and I will figure out which brand and model and serial number that instrument is. If you have your own personal instrument, please do the same thing so that if you, for whatever reason, misplace your instrument and we find it, we've got the information here and we can figure out, hey, whose instrument is this? I'm not sure. They're looking for their instrument. Maybe there's a couple of people looking for their instruments. Now we have identifiers that we can help sort things out later. So everybody please complete that next section, the Circle 1 Instruments section. The bottom section is only for people who are using school-owned instruments. This includes all percussionists. I'm just going to read the things below. I, the undersigned student, hereby acknowledge receipt of the instrument or equipment listed below, the same being the property of the Board of Education. In consideration for the said property being thus issued to me, I do hereby agree, 1, to keep said property in good repair and condition, and may be directed by the curriculum specialist. I can help you figure out if your instrument needs to go to the shop. Please bring it to me if it needs to go to the shop. Please bring it to me if you're not sure if it needs to go to the shop. Please bring it to me if you are just curious if it needs to go to the shop. 2, to pay the said Board of Education for any loss or damage to said property, excusing or barring normal wear, until returned to the authorized agent of the board. So aside from normal scuffles here and there, I get it, we ding things up, it's fine. If you cause damage that is major, you drop it 30 feet from the side of a cliff, you are responsible for damages. Please do not damage these instruments. We talk a lot about instrument maintenance and care in our band classes. Please be keeping this in mind. 3, to return said property at any time upon notice from the curriculum specialist. If I need an instrument returned for any reason, let's say something got replaced and we need to overhaul all of the old trombones, I'm going to say, trombones, please bring in your instruments. We have new trombones to give you. I must have those old instruments back. At the end of the year, when we do our turn-in sessions, we must bring in the instruments that we've used throughout the year and turn them in so that we can issue new loans for the summer. We also do a huge summer maintenance shift, summer phase out. We send about a third of the instruments that we have here at Providence and we send them out to get maintenanced. So make sure that we are bringing things in when you're told to bring things back. I acknowledge that all musical instruments and equipment are the property of the Board of Education of CMS and are subject to recall at their request. As further consideration for this said property being loaned to me, I do hereby agree to faithfully discharge all duties required as a requisite to being a member of my school music organization. CMS owns the equipment. They're the boss. We gotta do whatever CMS says. So, please keep this all in the back of your mind. I'll be happy to make copies of your agreements if you desire your own copy. Parents and students must both sign these forms before I can give out any student instruments. This is a new form. This is new information for me. And again, it replaces the old form. And you'll notice that the top of this old form is the same agreement as the bottom of the new form. So none of this is really new information. It's just presented in a new way, with the exception of this first section, which talks about storage space and it talks about school-owned instruments and instrument repair. Thank you for your attention. I appreciate you reading this all out and getting both of your student and parent signatures figured out. Please bring these in. I'll see you in class.